Okay, how you doing everybody? Back again, another video. We're going to do double angle formulas. I'm going to split up the double angle and half angle formulas so you guys have, so it's not one big long video. All right, you've got to know these. All right, you got to know them. No more reference sheets on exams or anything. And here they are. Sine of 2 theta is 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. Tangent of 2 theta is 2 tangent of theta over 1 minus tangent squared theta. And the cosine of 2 theta, there's 3 different formulas for it. There's cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta, or 1 minus 2 sine squared theta, or 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. Does not matter which one you use. Basically, the problem will dictate how or which formula you want to use, okay? Now, from there, I put together a couple examples for you. I'm going to go over and go through here. The first one, given cotangent theta is -5 and 3 pi over 2 is less than theta is less than 2 pi, find the sine of 2 theta, cosine of 2 theta, and tangent of 2 theta. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do is find sine, cosine, and tangent. And in order to do that, we're going to have to use some right triangle trig. First, we'll start with your cotangent of theta is -5. So that means your tangent of theta, being the reciprocal, is -1/5. Now from there, we've got to find sine and cosine. And what I'm going to do, knowing we're in the fourth quadrant, we are going to use right triangle trig. There's a right triangle. We'll put theta right here. And tangent, we know, is opposite over adjacent. So there's 1 and 5. Now we're going to do a little Pythagorean theorem. -1 squared plus 5 squared equals your hypotenuse squared. So 1 plus 25 is h squared. H squared is 26. So your hypotenuse is radical 26. And that goes right there. Now from there, we can find our sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So -1 over radical 26. Our cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And obviously from above, our tangent is -1/5. Now, I'm not going to go through and rationalize those denominators right now. You will see why. Once we start putting them into the formula, we'll see what we get. Sometimes they take care of themselves, sometimes they don't. But for now, we're going to leave them alone. All right, we're going to go to first sine of 2 theta, which is 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. And from what we did, that's 2 times -1 over radical 26 times 5 over radical 26. We make that into a fraction, multiply all our numerators, we get -10. Multiply our denominators, we get 26. -5/13. Okay? Now for cosine, it doesn't matter which one I use. So I'm just going to use cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. All right, and from there, what we'll do is our cosine, 5 over radical 26 squared minus -1 over radical 26 squared. And that's going to give us 25/26 minus 1/26. 24/26 reduced 12/13. Okay, and now the tangent formula. Tangent of 2 theta equals 2 tangent theta over 1 minus tangent squared theta. Okay, and we know tangent to be negative 1 over 5, and then 1 minus negative 1/5 squared. Okay, we're going to simplify that up here, and we're going to get negative 2 over 5 over, when you square negative 1 over 5, you end up with 1 over 25, so that's 24 over 25. Now think back a little to middle school fractions. Negative 2/5, same, change to multiplication and flip. Negative 25 over 24. Reduce some of these before we multiply. Negative 1, 12. We end up with negative 5 over 12. Okay, so there's just a nice straightforward find out your cosine 2 theta, sine 2 theta, tangent 2 theta. All right, now what I'm going to do is change it up just a little bit for you, and we're going to do an equation using it. Okay, find all solutions of the equation in 0 to 2 pi. Don't forget, your brackets means 0 is inclusive, parentheses means 2 pi is not included. 4 sine x cosine x equals 1. Now if we think for a minute and we go back to our double angle formulas, okay, there they are. It kind of looks like sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta, but instead of 2 I've got a 4. So all I'm going to do is factor out that 2. Sine x cosine x equals 1. And then change this to 2 sine 2x equals 1. So the sine of 2x is 1/2. Now where is sine 1/2? Well, we're in quadrants 1 and 2. So we're looking at 2x should be pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. Okay? We normally have those two answers, but because we're going to be dividing by 2, we're going to take out, and I know my guys, I talked about it as a rotation, another 2 pi around the unit circle, so that we end up with 2 rotations, I call them. Pi over 6 and 13 pi over 6 are the same. 5 pi over 6 and 17 pi over 6 are the same. But in order to get x, we have to divide everything by 2, which now makes all of our denominators 12. So all of our answers are now different. And we end up with these 4 answers, which all fall between 0 and 2 pi. And that's our, those are our answers. Okay? Hope this was helpful for everybody. I'm going to be doing another one on the half angle formula soon. Hope all's well, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care.